At the edge of the apocalypse, Jessica turned to me with eyes full of fake fire and said, "I have to go, Andrew's still out there." She didn't wait for a reply. Her hand was already on the door, ready to fling it open into the swarm of groaning, bloody mouths on the street. I reached out to stop her. Of course I did. We'd been holed up here for 6 days, rationing instant noodles and counting windows. But as my fingers brushed her shoulder, something else appeared, across my vision, bright and impossible. "Don't stop her, let the fake saint die trying." "Bro, that's not your girlfriend, that's a co-star in a tragedy." Spoiler, she opens the door for zombies later anyway, then blames you. "She's running after Andrew? Trash detected. Your only job is to barricade, respect fate." My hand froze in the air. Jessica didn't notice. She was already whispering something under her breath like a martyr in a drama. Her hair was tied back perfectly. She hadn't cried. She hadn't panicked. She just decided, in the middle of an outbreak, that her top priority was him, not me, not survival, him. I took one breath, then another, and then, calmly, I lowered my hand and stepped back. "Go," I said. "I respect your choice." Her head snapped around, the corner of her mouth twitched like she hadn't expected that, not from me, not from the man she thought would break apart trying to stop her. Her usual fake pity didn't have time to settle in. She ran, the door opened, screams echoed from below. I slammed it shut before the second breath escaped her body. The lock clicked, the metal bar slid into place, and I dragged the entire dining table across the frame. Then 2 chairs, then a dresser, then I sat on the floor and stared at the mess I'd made, finally breathing. Well played. Finally, a protagonist who listens. But you still got cheated on, buddy. Hope you reinforced your wind. Dawes. That rat's coming back. Andrew's got a gun. They're gonna make it dramatic. Cheated on? I stood, walked to the window, pulled back the curtain, and there they were. Andrew was limping, but he had a pistol in one hand and a red bandana tied around his neck like this was a movie. He fired into the horde below, cleared a path with the chaos, and then swept Jessica into his arms like it was some end-of-the-world love story worth filming. She clung to him, like she'd always belonged there. And me? Apparently, I was the villain for stepping back. He brought a gun. She ran for him. That's love? No, that's a plot hole tied with a pink ribbon. They'll run out of bullets and blame you. Get ready, you're about to be the problem again. The curtains fell back in place. I moved away from the window. Every chair I stacked felt lighter. Every food packet I hid felt smarter. Jessica had left me once. No, correction, she chose someone else once. But next time, she wasn't coming back. And if she did, I'd make sure the window was locked. The first time I saw them toast with interlocked arms, I thought it was just one of those dumb party games. Andrew had just come back from God knows where, some startup in the city that crashed harder than his fake ambition, and Jessica had dragged me along to his welcome back party like it was mandatory. Her exact words were, "Don't be weird about it, he's like a brother to me." Yeah, brothers totally chug champagne cross-armed while staring into each other's eyes like they're about to kiss. Everyone in that overpriced loft was drunk off attention and cheap wine. I remember standing near the kitchen island, holding a lukewarm beer, watching Jessica laugh too hard at one of Andrew's jokes. Then they raised their glasses. Andrew looked straight at me, smirked, and said, "Hey Henry, don't get the wrong idea. Willow's like a little sister to me, but if we were ever meant to be, you wouldn't even stand a chance." The entire room burst into fake laughter like it was a sitcom. Jessica giggled, then turned to me and said, "He's just joking, don't overthink it, it's just a game." And then they drank. If that's a joke, I'm a unicorn. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Bro, she didn't even deny it, just told you not to overthink. Toast like that should come with a breakup. The friend label is the dirtiest lie in the apocalypse. When they were done toasting, Jessica walked over to me with that overly sweet smile she used whenever she needed me to believe something that wasn't true. She looped her arm around mine, leaned her head on my shoulder, and whispered, "Game's over, honey, let's go home." I forced a nod. I didn't say a word in the car. Back then, I still wanted to believe her. I still wanted to believe in her. The second time was worse. It was 2:13 a.m. when she got a call. I only knew because I'd rolled over and touched the side of the bed and found nothing but tea-cold sheets. She was already up, already dressed, already slipping out the door in silence. I didn't ask where she was going, but at 7 a.m., when I scrolled through Andrew's social media, there it was, a photo of a night skyline and the caption, "Even at my lowest, I know you'll always be by my side." No name, no tags, but we both knew who he meant. I waited at the door until she came back. The first thing she said when she saw me was, "You're being paranoid." I said nothing. She bit her lip, classic innocent mode activated. "Andrew's just going through a lot, okay? He lost his job, he's drowning in debt, he's alone, I couldn't just leave him like that." "Alone?" I said. "You mean the guy who posted a love poem at dawn, with you standing 2 feet out of frame?" Her expression changed, slight twitch in her right eye. She didn't deny it. Instead, she shifted blame. "You weren't like this before." And that's when the Cold War started. She's really blaming you for reacting to her lies. Bold move. Classic emotional detour, make you feel guilty for noticing. I bet Andrew cries into expensive whiskey bought with Jessica's money. This isn't a triangle, it's a leech and a doormat fighting over a therapist. Days passed, and I watched her pour more of herself into Andrew's void. She started paying his bills, helped him look for jobs he never applied to, picked him up when he drank too much. I saw his messages once, long threads of "can't sleep, you up?" and "it's not right for me to see you so often, Jessica. What if Henry misunderstands?" And Jessica, she showed me the phone, held it out like it was proof of her sainthood. "See, he knows it's inappropriate, that means it's innocent." "Innocent people," I said, "don't need disclaimers." She went silent. That silence lasted until I packed her bags. I told her to leave. That night, no yelling, no accusations, just the truth. "I don't live with liabilities." She cried, begged, apologized, said it was all a mistake, and she only ever loved me. I stared at her, and felt nothing. 3 days later, the first zombie outbreak report hit the news. By the time the city descended into sirens, Jessica was back on my doorstep, wet hair, tear-streaked face, whispering about second chances and being safer together. I let her in, not out of love, out of strategy. I knew what she was. I just didn't want to be caught unprepared. And yet she'll still say you betrayed her later. Watch her feed your location to Andrew when he runs out of food. This man forgave for survival, not romance. Know the difference. He needs a plan B, or a Susan. Susan showed up on my radar in the most unremarkable way. A quiet knock during a blackout. She was from the 9th floor, no makeup, hoodie, a clipboard in one hand and a plastic bag in the other. "We're trying to organize supply sharing. If you've got any inventory or lists, we're mapping distribution by floor." Jessica didn't trust her. That's what made me pay attention. Susan didn't stay long. She didn't make eye contact with Jessica. She glanced once, only once, at the fire extinguisher I kept by the window and said, "Smart, most people don't think of that." She left a note. "My number, in case things get worse." That's it. No begging, no flirting, no drama. I added her to my contact list under "doesn't talk shit." Now, every time Jessica whispers Andrew's name in her sleep or asks for the last cup of noodles, I think of Susan's bag, of ration sheets, her precision, her silence. And I wonder how long I have before I need that number. The first time I noticed a shift, it was subtle. Jessica asked which canned food I was hiding, just in case. Not in a joking way, not in a curious, shared survival kind of way. It was strategic. Her tone dipped too low. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. She glanced at my storage cabinet a beat too long, like she was memorizing the latch pattern. The second time, she asked if the second-floor window locks were strong enough to hold during a horde breach. I told her yes. She asked again the next morning. And then the third time, her phone lit up when she thought I was asleep. She turned the screen away from me, but I saw the name, Andrew. And here we go. Why is he texting during an apocalypse? No job, but unlimited signal. Tell me she didn't give him your location. Trusting her is like gifting your will to a chainsaw. You're not even the boyfriend anymore. You're a shelter subscription. Later that day, a shadow passed by our apartment door, then footsteps. I peered through the peephole. It was Andrew. He had a gun. No knock, no announcement. Just him, standing there with a backpack and a smug expression. Like this was a sleepover invitation and not a city under siege. I stepped back, kept my breath steady, and turned the deadbolt tighter. Jessica looked up from the couch, pretending to be surprised. Did you hear something? I said nothing. Just walked past her, opened the window curtain slightly, and watched Andrew walk into the neighboring building with practiced ease. 5 minutes later, Jessica's phone buzzed again. She pretended to ignore it. She gave him your location. That's not survival, that's sabotage. MC, you better lock every damn window. There's a reason every apocalypse story starts with one idiot opening a door. When I confronted her, gently, like someone testing how close a wolf is to biting, she blinked twice and said, I didn't tell him anything. He probably just guessed. He guessed the floor? I asked. Guessed the building? Guessed which window I keep cracked open for airflow? Her lip quivered. He's scared. I couldn't just ignore him. You wouldn't understand. Andrew and I grew up together. You said that line already, I replied. Try a new script. She scowled. Why are you acting like this? I walked over to the front door and unlocked it. Jessica stood. What are you doing? Respecting your childhood, I said. Go ahead, join him. I'm sure the two of you can split a bullet between yourselves. Her expression stuttered, half outrage, half disbelief. She didn't move. Don't worry, I added. I'll even lock the door behind you. Damn cold. Somebody give this man a crown made of canned beans. She really thought she could two-time and two-shelter. If this was a movie, she'd still try to cry her way back in. She didn't take long, just 1 minute of manufactured hesitation, then she opened the door and stepped out. I closed it before her second foot touched the hall, locked it, bolted it, slid the dresser back into place like muscle memory. And then I watched from the window as Andrew met her at the street corner. He handed her something, not a weapon, food. Then he reached for her face with that same smug, wounded expression he'd always worn, like a kicked puppy that deserved your house keys. She let him hold her. They didn't look scared, they looked composed, like they'd rehearsed this, like they'd always known I wasn't going to be the ending to their little apocalypse fantasy. It's giving co-star energy. She didn't run into his arms, she walked. That wasn't rescue, it was reunion. MC, you better not save her when she comes crying back with scratches. Remember, they just made you the third wheel of your own bunker. That night, I moved all remaining supplies out of sight. I turned off the living room lights and set motion alerts on every window I could still reach. Jessica had left some of her things behind: makeup, a pair of shoes, one of my sweatshirts she used to steal on purpose for comfort. I tossed it all into a bag and left it by the door, unlocked on the inside, bolted from the outside. By morning, the bullet comments had gone from warning to funeral preppers. Andrew has a gun, Jessica has no loyalty, what could go wrong? Can someone drop a piano on their alliance? MC, be ready. They're not just emotional threats anymore, they're armed liabilities. This story used to be emotional damage, now it's physical danger. I love it. And then came the broadcast, Andrew's live stream. Yes, that moron went live, probably thought it was funny. He filmed the neighborhood from the rooftop of the building across the street, with Jessica beside him, like a co-anchor in a survival drama. He smiled into the camera and said, "You know, I thought we were done for, but Jessica never gave up on me. She's the real hero here." Jessica nodded. Sometimes, in a crisis, you just have to follow your heart. I sat on my couch watching it play, chewing on the last dried mango from my stash. They made it seem like I'd locked her out for no reason. No betrayal. No warning. Just, cruel Henry, the selfish man who let them suffer. Oh no. Now they're influencers. Jessica really said, "Follow your heart," after selling out your apartment. Andrew live with that smug face is a threat to my blood pressure. MC, please, pull the Wi-Fi plug, forever. The comments didn't stop, neither did the notifications, or the threats. And I knew, the problem wasn't just emotional anymore. This was war. The night after their livestream, I sat in total darkness, eating stale crackers and watching Jessica's smile freeze frame on a cracked phone screen. She looked radiant. Not because she was in love, but because someone was watching. She always did shine for the camera. She's glowing like betrayal's good for skin. You dodged a bullet, literally. Andrew's holding it. Can someone throw a microwave at that rooftop? I swear, if MC doesn't get revenge soon, I'm applying to be the antagonist. I didn't respond. Not to the comments, not to the world, not even to myself. I just chewed slowly, scanned the footage from my security cam on the second floor, and marked which windows hadn't been reinforced yet. That's when the apartment group chat came alive. Floor, anyone know where the gunshots were coming from? 6th floor, saw 2 people climbing onto a ledge yesterday, almost fell. 4th floor, someone's helping looters, be careful, they're armed. 7th floor, just moved in, no food yet, is anyone sharing supplies? The old me, the pre-apocalypse, still trying to be decent version, might have offered something, a can, a few noodles, not now. But I saw one reply that caught my eye. 4th floor, Susan, I have a few packs of noodles, can leave them near the elevator, quiet delivery only. Susan, hoodie girl, clipboard, the one who didn't lie or cry or call me paranoid. I sent her a private message. Henry, 2nd floor, I'm moving, not safe here anymore, can't trust my visitors. Henry, I'll be using the elevator between 1-3 a.m. Quiet runs, ignore any noise. She didn't reply immediately, then, Susan, understood, be safe. 4 words, no judgment, no questions. At 2:48 a.m., I cracked the door open and found a bag, 2 noodle packs, a boiled egg, and a handwritten note, the world's burning, but logic's still rare, don't lose yours. I smiled for the first time. In days. Not out of happiness. Just out of recognition. Susan with the clutch drop, we stand the emotionally stable side character. This is the real love story. No words, just noodles. Susan Nation rise. Jessica's out here live streaming Betrayal. Susan's delivering calories and logic. I took the bag, shut the door, and locked it like a reflex. Then I got to work. I padded every window frame with blankets, duct taped the corners, and lined the sills with shattered glass. I stacked chairs against the windows, not to keep people out, but to alert me with a crash if anyone tried. And then, I placed the fire extinguisher beside the latch. Andrew and Jessica were predictable, manipulators always are. The second their food ran low or their audience thinned, they'd come crawling back, begging, pretending, so I gave them what they wanted. At 5:11 p.m., the knock came. Light, hesitant, 2 shadows on the ledge, swaying like tragic lovers. Henry, Jessica's voice came through, soft and breathless. Please, just open the window, we're starving. This bitch again? Starving, but not enough to stop live streaming? They're gonna play the pity card, again. MC, give them mercy. Mercy equal maximum humiliation. I turned on the camera feed, watched them from the inside. They were huddled together. Andrew had the gun slung low, no finger on the trigger. That meant they didn't plan to shoot first. Good. I walked to the window, made sure they saw my silhouette, and shouted, "Hold on, I'm unlocking it now!" Their faces lit up. Andrew put the gun away. Jessica gripped the frame with one hand, lips trembling like she was about to cry. I flipped the latch, pulled, and blasted the extinguisher full force into their faces. White foam hissed. They screamed. Andrew slipped. Jessica's hands flailed for grip, and then, down they went. I slammed the window shut and locked it again, stepped back, waited. Thud, thud, but not splat. 2nd floor, damn bushes. Yes! The spray, the slip, the fall, cinema. MC is a legend now. Apologize to him right now, you doubting bastards. I was ready to curse him, but now I'm making fan art. I pulled up the external camera. Andrew was limping again, dragging Jessica toward a neighboring apartment. She wasn't screaming anymore. She looked pissed, covered in foam, humiliated. Good, let that sit in her bones. Let her remember what cold feels like when it doesn't come from the wind. I turned off the camera and leaned against the wall. This wasn't about emotions anymore, not heartbreak, not betrayal. This was strategy now. Every decision they made was rooted in narcissism. Every apology a transaction, every tear a discount on your own sanity. They had a gun, I had windows and logic. They had drama, I had cameras. They had each other, I had myself, and I was winning, but I knew better than to get comfortable. Andrew's pride wouldn't take that hit, not twice, and Jessica wasn't going to let the world forget she got sprayed like a raccoon and fell into a hedge. They'd come back, next time, maybe with force. So I sat down, pulled out a sheet of paper, and began listing every possible point of entry, weak spot, and escape route. Just as the next bullet comment appeared. He's not surviving, he's evolving. They came in jeeps, 3 of them. Torn canvas roofs, scrap metal reinforcements, and the kind of decals that only scream two things: ex-military or wannabe warlords. Either way, their boots hit the pavement like they owned it. Within seconds, the crack of automatic gunfire cut through the stale air, zombies dropping like shattered mannequins. I watched from behind the curtain, silent, still. One of them had a megaphone. "We're not enemies," he called. "We're here to stabilize. We're just looking for supplies, willing to trade. Translation: give us your food or die." They're not military. Military doesn't wear neon sunglasses. This is it. If MC opens the door, I'm uninstalling my brain. You know Jessica's gonna run straight to them with a sob story. Of course, she did. Less than an hour later, I spotted her on the pavement, limping slightly, hair tousled like she just escaped a horror movie. Except her eyeliner hadn't smudged. Andrew was at her side, holding the gun, smiling like this was his audition for leadership. One of the looters pointed at my building. Andrew leaned in, said something, then pointed again. "That's it, he just sold you out." Bro really said, "That guy's got the good ramen." MC, you better have more than duct tape now. This Betrayal arc is now in season 3. I opened the group chat. It was already on fire. 3rd floor. Who are those people with Andrew and Jessica? 7th floor. I heard one of them say Henry's name. 9th floor. Why would they betray their own neighbor? 4th floor. Isn't Henry the guy who kicked them out? 5th floor. Henry started it then. They're probably desperate. 2nd floor. Susan. He didn't start anything. I watched it happen. He was quiet the whole time. They chose violence. He chose survival. I didn't reply. I didn't defend myself, because I wasn't planning a debate. I was planning a funeral. They want a narrative. I'd give them one. I messaged Susan privately. "Henry, can your drone carry sound bait?" Susan. "Yes, I have 2. Max flight time, 11 minutes. You have a target?" Henry. "I need one thing. Can you make it scream?" Loudly. She replied with a thumbs up emoji, then another message. Susan. "I also have a portable speaker. They won't know what hit them." Susan. MVP confirmed. "Oh my god, they're gonna drone blast the zombies into the looters." This just became tactical warfare. I live for this. MC didn't fight back emotionally. He fought back with acoustics. I waited until the looters got comfortable. They had set up near the basketball court beside Building C, no high fences, lots of visibility, easy to guard, dumb move. Then I made the call. Jessica picked up. Her voice was fake fragile. "Henry, is that you?" I let my voice shake. Please don't let them kill me." Andrew grabbed the phone. I could hear it in the background, his laugh. That same smirk turned into sound. "Oh, look who's finally scared. Maybe you should have thought of that before you threw us out like trash." Jessica took the phone back. "Henry, listen. Give us your supplies, and we'll ask them to go easy on you. No one else has to get hurt." I choked back fake tears. Okay, I just need a little time. Please don't send them yet." She paused. "Then hurry up. You don't want to make us wait." I ended the call. Quiet, calculated. And texted Susan. "Henry, now." Less than 2 minutes later, the drones lifted. One moved toward the neighboring sector, the other floated directly above the basketball court, small, silent, then, full volume, a baby's cry, distorted, looping, horrifying, then, screeching static, shouted panic, the audio of a woman screaming, and every zombie in a 4-block radius turned. They used zombie bait audio. He's a monster. I love him. I'm gonna pass out. Who does this? The strategy, the execution, the mastermind. This isn't a love story. This is psychological warfare with a side of revenge. The looters scattered. Gunfire erupted. 2 of the trucks didn't even wait. They reversed and peeled out. The 3rd was slower. In the chaos, I saw Andrew shouting, waving his arms. Jessica was screaming. And then it happened. The last truck had one open seat. Andrew shoved Jessica backward. "Don't worry," he shouted. "I'll come back for you." Then the truck roared away. Jessica hit the pavement, rolled, and didn't get up. I watched it all from the window, one hand on the curtain, the other clutching the drone controller Susan had lent me. No mercy, no second thoughts, just math. They sold me out for safety. I sold them out for silence. The sky over the complex turned the color of burnt rust by the time the drone batteries died. With the soundbait gone silent, the zombies hesitated for a heartbeat, and then surged again, as if the echo of that wailing loop still rang in their bones. They poured over fences, knocked down trash cans, clawed at balconies. The smell of rot drifted up in waves. Even from the 25th floor, I could hear their fingernails scraping the walls. I didn't move from the window. The surveillance feed on my phone showed a better view than my own eyes, 4 different angles of chaos below. Andrew sprinting, shouting orders at men who weren't listening anymore. Jessica staggering behind him, hair wild, her coat half torn. Her face was a picture, fear and rage mixed into a smear of expensive mascara. In another life, she could have been auditioning for a disaster movie. Now she was the disaster. The third Jeep was already loaded. Men were scrambling into the back. The driver honked, revving the engine. Zombies swarmed closer, climbing over one another like black water. Andrew grabbed the gun, fired wildly into the mass, then turned to Jessica. She was reaching for the side of the truck, trying to climb in. For a second, he looked at her like a man weighing luggage, and then he shoved her, hard. She fell backwards into the street. The crowd of looters roared at him, half protest, half panic, but Andrew jumped in, slammed the door, and the Jeep peeled out. Jessica's scream was swallowed by the engine noise. The vehicle disappeared down the street, zombies chasing like a tide breaking against a rock. Oh my God, he did it. He kicked her out. I can't breathe. The White Lotus got sacrificed for real. Karma on fast forward. Migs don't save her, let her rot. I zoomed in on the feed. Jessica was on her knees, surrounded but not yet bitten. Her hair clung to her cheeks like wet vines. She stared after the Jeep, mouth open, like she couldn't process the moment. Then she screamed, not words, just a sound, before scrambling up and bolting toward my building. Of course she would. She always came back. She darted through a break in the horde, stumbled across the lawn, and somehow, managed to grab onto the broken air conditioner unit on the 2nd floor. She clawed her way up the ledge, nails ripping, shoes slipping. Inch by inch, she climbed to the shattered window of my old apartment, the one she'd once called home. She pulled herself inside and collapsed on the floor, blood on her hand, not hers, yet. I switched the feed to the living room camera. There she was, Jessica, on her knees, gasping, hair a mess, foam residue still clinging to her coat from when I'd sprayed her off the ledge days ago. She pressed her back to the wall and slid down, looking like a marionette with its strings cut. My phone vibrated. Her name on the screen. I let it ring once, twice, 3 times. Then I answered. Her voice was a trembling whisper. Henry. Silence. She sobbed. Henry, please. You saw what he did. He left me. He left me to die. I had no one. I've always loved you. I stared at the screen, watched her lips form the words as they reached my ear, the perfect actress still delivering her lines. Love? My voice came out flat, like steel. You used that word like toilet paper. Her head snapped up. I mean it this time. Please, don't let them get me. Please help me. I'll do anything. This line is Oscar-worthy. Toilet paper, OMG. Keep your foot on her neck. This isn't redemption, this is a sequel audition. Anything, I repeated. Anything like when you gave Andrew our location. Anything like when you went live with him while I rationed food for us. Anything like the night you slipped out of bed and left me alone while you picked him up drunk? Her breath itched. I was wrong, I was stupid. Please, don't let me die here. I laughed softly. You're not dying yet, you're just out of script. I hung up. She stared at the phone in her hand, blinking like she couldn't understand what had happened. Then she started pounding on the inside of the door, calling my name like an incantation. Henry, Henry, please. I'm eating popcorn. MC is ice cold, I love him. Let her rot. Report her right now. I opened the resident group chat, typed. Henry. My ex-girlfriend has entered my old apartment. She's wounded, probably infected. She still has Andrew's gun. Be careful, lock your windows. 9th floor, understood, we'll reinforce the stairwell. 24th floor. Susan, copy, I'll send the drone footage to confirm. Henry, don't engage, just trap her. If she turns, lure her out the window. Susan replied with just one word, done. Back on the feed, Jessica slumped against the wall. Her breathing got louder, shallower, her skin pale under the flickering light. She pressed her hands to her stomach, whispering something I couldn't hear. Maybe my name, maybe Andrew's, maybe nothing at all. The bullet comments filled my vision. She's turning. Finally. She wasted every chance, every warning. This is it. MC, don't blink, don't you dare blink. This is better than any TV show. Her body convulsed once, twice. She let out a low moan, half sob, half growl. Her head jerked up, eyes milky, mouth opening wider than it should. Zombie. I exhaled, slow, long. Downstairs, the residents moved like clockwork. 2 guys from the 5th floor and a woman from the 6th dragged furniture to block the stairwell leading to the 2nd floor. Susan's drone hovered outside the window, broadcasting the moment Jessica staggered to her feet, head lolling, arms reaching. No one tried to save her, no one called her name. They just sealed her inside and waited for her to shamble close enough to the ledge to push her out. I didn't watch the rest, just closed the feed and the phone face down. For a moment, silence, then the bullet comments erupted. She's a zombie. Karma delivered in 4K. Author Eugenius. MC survived and we are fed. Toilet paper line goes down in history. I poured a glass of water, drank it, felt nothing, not victory, not relief, just a clean emptiness where her name used to be. In the group chat, Susan wrote, "It's done, she's outside now." I picked up the phone and typed back, "Good work. Thank you." Her reply came seconds later. "Stay strong, spring will come." I put the phone down. Looked out the window. The horde was dispersing, slow and dumb, chasing after the remnants of noise from blocks away. No jeeps, no Andrew, no Jessica. Just a quiet complex full of strangers barricaded behind doors, breathing in sync. I thought about the woman who used to sleep beside me, whispering lies with her hand on my chest. The man who used to smirk at me across crowded rooms, toasting with my girlfriend like it was a sport. I thought about the way they both looked, covered in foam, tumbling off the ledge. I thought about the word love, and how she had said it one last time before turning. Then I pulled the blanket tighter around the window and sat back. I'd been accused of being cold, small-minded, selfish. Maybe all of that was true, but I was alive. And they weren't. 3 years passed. 3 winters clawed through our broken windows, and 3 springs tried to bloom from the cracks we boarded shut. The world didn't end like a meteor or a movie, it just slowed, got quieter, the zombies got dumber, the noise faded, and then one morning, the power came back on like a forgotten promise. The residents gathered on the rooftop. Someone had tied a speaker to a rusted antenna, and from it, a voice boomed across the complex like thunder breaking silence. Effective immediately, the outbreak is officially over, reintegration will begin sector by sector, please remain calm. We didn't cheer. We just stood there, blinking against the sunlight we'd almost forgotten how to look at. The rooftop garden Susan had started during the 2nd winter swayed in the breeze, spinach, tomatoes, even a patch of strawberries protected in cut plastic bottles. Someone had painted the old railing with leftover blue spray. A kid from the 6th floor had even built a scarecrow. It didn't scare crows, but it gave people something to smile at. Below us, most of the building was still intact. Rotating watch shifts had kept the worst of the undead out. Drones buzzed quietly above rooftops, checking for movement, battery-powered patrols that became lifelines. Radios traded recipes more than warnings now. And Jessica? Gone. 2 years ago, she became a zombie in my old apartment. 6 months later, we lured her out with duck blood in a broken Tupperware. She wandered off. Someone said she got stuck in an abandoned elevator shaft. No one checked, no one cared. But the memory remained like a stain you stopped trying to scrub out. I walked down to the 2nd floor with Susan that same morning. We hadn't spoken much beyond logistics and food runs. She was the kind of quiet that never asked for attention but somehow made you feel less alone. We stopped in front of the barricaded door, the one the community sealed after Jessica's final transformation. Susan rested her hand on the frame. "Ready?" I nodded. Together, we began to pull it down, chair by chair, beam by beam. It didn't take long, just muscle, silence, and dust. When we pushed the door open, the stale air inside hit like a relic. The apartment was exactly as I remembered. Couch crooked, window broken, one overturned bowl of instant noodles still fossilized near the coffee table. And on the floor near the couch, Jessica's cracked phone. I stared at it. Didn't touch it right away. Susan picked up the ramen bowl. Still looks more edible than her apology. Oh my God, Susan. Susan, you savage queen. I am screaming. Jessica's noodles aged better than her morals. I knelt down, picked up the phone, and held the power button. It buzzed. Still worked. Battery, 3%. I plugged it in, using one of the new emergency ports the community had installed on every floor. The screen lit up. Dozens of unsent drafts, most were blank. Some just had my name. But one was complete, the final message she typed before she turned. Jessica, see you in the next life. Nope. That's not tragic, that's clearance sale karma. Next life? Please let her come back as a fire alarm. The only sequel we don't need. I didn't react, not a blink, not a twitch. Just read it once, then deleted it. No backup, no screenshot, just gone. I turned to Susan. How long before the trucks arrive? 3 days, she said. Evac teams are hitting zones alphabetically. Plenty of time, I said. We walked back to the elevator. Neither of us looked back. On the rooftop, the residents had started building a bench. Someone was painting names on the wall, people we lost, people we forgot. Jessica's name wasn't there, Andrew's neither. He'd shown up once more, a year ago, limping, alone. A neighbor found his body 3 blocks away, half chewed, phone still in his jacket, no ammo left, no help, just an old message sent to a number that hadn't answered in 2 years. Jessica, please, come back for me, I can't walk, please. He died waiting for someone who stopped being human long before the virus ever spread. Fitting. Karma's final invoice. Jessica, zombie, Andrew, roadkill, Henry, peace. MC didn't just survive, he made the credits worth watching. This is the only apocalypse story where I feel healed. I returned to my floor that evening and sat beside the window. No bullet comments, no screaming, just quiet. Susan dropped off a sealed packet of seeds beside my door, labeled in Sharpie, spring comes anyway. I didn't reply, just smiled to myself, folded the wrapper, and placed it on the shelf above my bed. I never hated Jessica. That would have meant she still had power over me, she didn't, and I didn't forgive her either. Forgiveness isn't mercy, it's memory loss, and I remember everything.